What is reflective listening? Reflective listening is the skill of feeding back to the speaker that we have heard what they have said. It's a vital skill for people who are seeking to connect and communicate effectively with others. Reflective listening is essential if we are seeking to establish rapport, the connection we need to have before we can learn about what a person really feels, thinks, and needs. This is true for all of us, whether we are working in health, education, social care, human resources, businesses, public services and councils, and charities, or raising families, or looking after relatives, or trying to be a good friend or partner. In other words, everyone can make use of reflective listening. But why is it so useful? One reason is that it encourages the person who is speaking to feel able to continue by letting them know that we are listening to what they are saying. Another reason is that it allows us to check that we have understood what a person is saying and how they feel about it. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, when we feel that we are really being listened to and receiving good attention, it helps us to feel calmer and to think more clearly about how to address unmet emotional needs. Before we explore reflective listening further, it's worth looking at what can get in the way of us giving other people good attention. When we are listening to somebody talking about how they feel, it's natural to want to share how we may be feeling ourselves. This can sometimes lead to us interrupting the person when they are speaking about how they feel.
So how have you been since we last spoke?
Well, not that great, to be honest.
Oh, I know how you feel. I've had a dreadful week with the washing machine packing up, and it rained again too.
We may also feel the need to console a person and try to make them feel better. Again, this is natural, and sometimes we do want to be consoled. But we need to listen first to find out what a person needs before we try to influence how they feel.
I've been having a really tough time.
Oh, you poor thing. Cheer up. I'm sure you'll feel better soon.
We may also feel the need to argue or convince someone that they need to change the way they see or feel about events. This usually happens because something a person says conflicts with our views and needs.
I don't feel safe when I go out at night.
Don't be silly. You'll be absolutely fine. Statistics show that this is the safest time in history ever.
So that's how not to do reflective listening. What does good reflective listening sound like? Firstly, reflective listening lets the speaker know that we have been listening and allows us to check that we've understood properly, or not. And it's important to allow the speaker to have control of the conversation and tell us if we've missed key details. Secondly, briefly sum up what the speaker has told us, rather than simply repeating their words back to them.
I've been having a really tough time, but don't feel able to speak about it, because when I have done in the past, my concerns are just dismissed. Colleagues in other departments question what I do, tell me that they want their demands met immediately, and on a few occasions have undermined me in public. If I complain about how I'm treated, I get told I'm too sensitive or just overacting.
So, if I've understood correctly, you'd like to be treated appropriately by your colleagues, but when you've raised issues in the past, you've been told that you're overreacting.
Yes, that's about it.
Have I missed anything important?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you for letting me check that. Do continue.
How will we know if reflective listening is working? And why is it so effective? Whenever our needs are unmet, our emotions are raised to encourage and motivate us to meet those needs. Just as hunger prompts us to seek out and eat food, and thirst prompts us to drink, other feelings push us to meet other needs. So, if we feel unsafe, this pushes us to seek safety. And we know that we have found safety when we no longer feel unsafe and instead feel secure and comfortable. If we feel lonely, This pushes us to seek connection with other people and the wider community. We know that our needs for emotional connection and community are met when we feel that we are connected to other people and that we belong. When we feel the need to be listened to, we seek attention from other people. In other words, our brain is looking for a match with our needs. When it's done well, reflective listening summarizes what a person has said to match with what they have said and to meet their need for attention. This only works when we avoid interrupting or trying to argue with them into changing their minds and really put their need for attention first. And when a person's need for attention is met, the emotions which come with feeling unheard or ignored are turned down and they begin to feel a little calmer. By putting our viewpoints aside for a while and using the skill of reflective listening, we can all help to make other people feel listened to, respected, and perhaps safer too.